Hey folks, I'm Private Hudson, and I'm back to doing what you all know me for, reviewing shitty zombie games. Alright, just kidding. How to Survive isn't exactly a shitty zombie game. It's not a good game, but it's not a bad one either. It's average and adequate. Now, I don't want to sound like I'm shit-talking the devs here, but the best way to summarize what this game is, well, it's a combination of pretty much everything that is popular on the market right now. Zombies, check. RPG elements, check. Crafting, check. Survival, check. Combine all that into an isometric twin-stick shooter, and that is what this game is in a nutshell. The problem here is that all these elements and mechanics have been done before, and have been done better. All of How to Survive's gameplay mechanics are very basic and very primitive. The story is abysmal. It is as generic as it gets. Your ship crashes on an island, and you have to figure out how to survive and escape. It would have been passable if the ending, which I'm not gonna spoil, but it was one of the laziest attempts of an ending possible. You go around 3 islands, plus 1 tutorial island, scavenging materials and food, while coming across several NPCs who give you lame fetch quests in return for a reward that will aid you in getting off the island. There are some side quests as well, but they're very fucking stupid.
Look, are still hungry. Hi.
You come across an annoying parrot and monkey that ask you to fucking look for an item or craft something for them in return for a reward. I did about 5 of these, and then I fucking stopped because none of the rewards were worth it, and all these quests required a lot of fucking backtracking, and at the same time, the game's story itself requires a metric fuck ton of backtracking, which I will elaborate on later in this review. There are 3 characters you can choose from, but there isn't much of a difference between them. Jack has the highest strength, making him great as a melee character, but there's no fucking melee skills in the game. He has the worst accuracy when it comes to range, but he can craft scopes, so that eliminates his only con. Kenji has the best accuracy, but he's terrible when it comes to crafting potions. I played as Abby, who's the best at making potions, and I stopped making them after seeing that they were fuck all useless. So this is hardly a con for Kenji. Also, all of the character skill trees, they're very similar to each other. There are some minor differences, but they're not important because all the fucking skills are passives. There are no active skills. They vary from reloading faster, decreasing the rate of your hunger and thirst, lets you craft fire ammunition, gives you more experience killing enemies at night, and so on and so forth. None of these are engaging or interesting. How to Survive doesn't take itself seriously, but its attempt at humor is very poor. You come across these little magazines that introduce you to new survival mechanics via cutscenes. It tries to be funny, but honestly, I found them to be cringeworthy.
Chapter 10. Fishing. Any good fisherman will tell you the best times for fishing are at daybreak.
Hell yeah!
When the sun goes down.
Hell yeah!
Nothing is guaranteed at other times of the day.
Combat is very simple. If you're using a melee weapon, press left mouse button to swing, or hold it and release it for a stronger swing. If you're using a ranged weapon, then hold down right mouse button to aim over the zombie and wait until you get a lock on. Then press left mouse button to fire. You can cycle through your inventory by using the 1 and 2 keys, and then you can press Q to use that item, whether it's a bottle of water, a medkit, or a Molotov cocktail. You have 4 survival meters that you need to take care of: health, hunger, water, and tiredness. All these are self-explanatory. You can heal yourself by using plants or medkits. You can fish or hunt for food, you can drink from wells or fill up bottles of water, and you can sleep in these little bases, facilities, safe houses, whatever, I don't know what they're called. But you have to clear them first, and this is one of the game's, it is the game's most stupidest fucking mechanic. So you come across these little facilities, which on the outside appear empty. You hit the button to open the gate, and it turns on alarm. So it activates a horde. Zombies from all around the area, places that you just cleared 15 fucking seconds ago, will spawn again out of nowhere and begin running at you. At the same time, zombies from inside the facility begin funneling out in clown car fashion. What were they thinking? That tiny little base looks like it has room for maybe 8 to 10 people, yet over 50 zombies run out every single time. To make things worse, there's around 4 to 5 bases per island, so having to do this every time is extremely fucking annoying. Granted, when you clear a base, it stays safe and clear. However, oftentimes there are quest items in them, so you're forced to clear out most of the bases anyway. To be honest, I was enjoying this game until about 2/3 of the way through. I did open up this review describing just how average this game is, but even then I was still having fun, even with these simple mechanics and some of these annoying gameplay elements. Why? Because the developers pace things properly. New weapons, new enemies, environments, obstacles, and so on and so forth were introduced in the right and perfect moments. Just as you start feeling that you're going to get bored, you're introduced to something interesting. Oh cool, I've got a melee weapon that can chop down these bushes, and now I have access to new parts of the map. Nice. New zombies, soldier zombies. They have a fucking bulletproof armor and a helmet. I've got to make sure that I lock onto him, or else my shot will miss and get ricocheted off his body armor. I've got to shoot his helmet off first, then take another shot at the skull. Oh shit, there's piranhas in the water. I have to run quickly through the water and get on land. These are pretty basic, but they're introduced at the right moments and continue introducing more fun to the gameplay. And everything was going nicely until 2/3 of the way through, because at that point, they just fucking ran out of ideas. There were no new enemies, no new weapons, no new environments, no new obstacles. Nothing. I crafted pretty much the only weapon I used 1/3 of the way through the game. It was a sniper rifle that shot 5 bullets at once. I really wanted to play as an archer, but when it started taking at least 2 arrows to take down normal zombies, even with an upgraded bow and upgraded arrows, I just found it more efficient to use this gun. Not only that, but it had a high chance to pierce. So at times, I could kill 5 zombies at once, if they were fucking walking in a straight line, one behind the other. The crafting system itself is pretty fucking stupid. You use random pieces of fucking, fishing equipment and metal to somehow craft shotguns and sniper rifles. Jack uses fucking glasses he finds on the floor to craft a fucking scope. Oh, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. What made the game even more boring was the horde instances that occurred when clearing a base became a commonplace when you're just randomly wandering throughout the map. It was fine in the beginning as the frequency was spaced out normally, but once again 2/3 of the way through, you get like 4 or 5 of these situations in a row every few minutes, and that's really, really annoying. How to Survive is a challenging game. It's not challenging because it is difficult, contrary to the name of the title. I was carrying around 10 healing plants, 10 medkits, 10 pieces of fresh meat, 500 bullets, 350 incendiary bullets for almost the entire game. How to Survive is challenging because it is cheap. It's unfair. It takes the lazy way out with the clown car zombies and randomly spawning hordes that keep increasing over and over and over again as you get further and further into the game. If you see my review of Realms of Ancient War, then you know how much I hated the lazy mechanic of enemies spawning literally right behind you, 10 seconds right after you've just cleared the area. That's how this game plays out with its asinine horde mechanic. Let's take a look at Left 4 Dead, for example. The horde mechanic works because it is spaced out properly. Imagine if you're playing Left 4 Dead and every 30 seconds a horde is randomly fucking triggered. That wouldn't be very fun, now would it? It's exactly why it isn't fun here. The worst part of this whole developer laziness is that the last few quests are nothing more than enormous fetch quests that require you backtracking through all the islands you've already been through. Not only is this mind-numbingly dull, but with the retarded horde mechanic cranked up to maximum, it artificially extends the length of the game as well as the difficulty. Now the length took me somewhere around 8 to 10 hours to complete. If the horde mechanic wasn't set to fucking cranked up to fucking 11, it would have probably been like a 5-hour long game. Now, it's already painful enough to having backtrack a single island with a horde popping up every so often, so you can imagine how tedious it must be backtracking through all 3. Do note that each island's entrance is the same thing as its exit, and there's only one per island. Oh, and as usual, I always somehow manage to find an abusive glitch, all by myself. How to Survive is an average game. Everything about the game, well, aside from the awful story and abysmal voice acting, is adequate. It's just enough to get by. I enjoyed most of my time with it, but it runs out of ideas quickly, and it doesn't help that there are so few things that you can craft. Seriously, there is only one piece of armor that you can craft for your head, arms, legs, and chest, and each piece can only be upgraded like 2 times. There's no other armor that you can get. The amount of weapons is staggeringly low, especially since I created the perfect gun for my playstyle very early on in the game. If they had only made the last few quests less tedious and gave you more things to craft, then my experience with this title would have been a lot more enjoyable. Maybe the game is more fun in co-op, or maybe some of the new DLC missions they've released resolve some of the complaints I've had with it. But as far as the base vanilla game is concerned, How to Survive is like that classmate of yours in college, who did the least amount of work in order to get a passing grade, as low as that grade may have been. Pick it up if it's dirt cheap, and you might have some fun with it. I'm Private Hudson, and if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe.